Hi, everybody. Andrew and I were just talking, and he was asking, what's come up for me this week. And I've had a really interesting and a great week, actually. If you'd watched it, we haven't put the videos up yet, but if you watched the videos from last week, we talked about my start to the year of having got COVID around New Year's Eve, and then having to drive back from Brisbane or Queensland on my own, and taking the week because I was staying with my daughters and they wouldn't let me come back until I was negative. So it was very isolating. But then this week, so that was the first week in January. The second week was recovery, and then this week I got back to work on Monday, and for some reason just had a very different mindset, and then on reflection and thinking about it, it was all to do with having COVID and not blaming the universe or going into that victim mentality, but rather sitting with it and asking, what is it that I'm not learning well enough that it keeps coming back and prompting me to reflect on things. And then when I sat down and thought about that, it became really clear that the week driving back from Queensland, I had to just book into a motel and not see anybody, and I did that, and I fortunately I was able to drive. I wasn't particularly sick. It wasn't in my head or my throat or anything like that. So it gave me the time to think about things, and I did. I started to think about what was coming up for me and why did I need to relearn or look in the mirror again about something that I thought maybe that I would have worked my way through.
And do you mean the idea of being a victim when shit happens to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
You were like, I'm old enough. I should have kind of, not old. You know what I mean? Like you thought you nailed that, or you.
Yeah.
Where were you at with it?
Yeah. Right? So I thought in the last 18, 20 months now, that I'd done a lot of work, and I was getting through that, and. We went up. We had 4 days of really camping, really good stuff at the music festival, and I could have quite easily gone into why have you done this to me again? I'm just starting to get back on my feet, and now I've been knocked off again. And instead of that, that's where I went to, hey, what is it that is coming back up for me that I thought maybe that I had worked my way through? That it's just a reminder that I haven't. Yeah.
So if we just slow that down a little bit, because the part of the story I think that would be really great to share next is then what did you do after that? How did you process it in a different way? But let's just slow that down a little bit. There is a tendency where we can, from our perception, we blame the universe when things happen, and we actually get negative about our own selves, and in getting negative about our own selves and negative about the broader world out there, the victim mentality sounds like, why is this happening to me again?
Yeah, and the phrase that goes through is, can I just have a bit of time to enjoy it?
Can't you whoever
the universe, whatever you want to call it, just leave me alone for a minute, ignore me, let me just enjoy this whatever a good thing is happening.
So that's so when we victimize, we also personalize. So just really be aware that what we're doing is we personalize the universe as a person, that it's doing something to us.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Yeah.
The universe is all it is.
Yeah.
It's part of us. It's part of everything.
Yeah.
And often we don't have a perspective to see that actually what is happening to us is for our good.
Yes.
Until we get to your point.
Yeah,
so that's where we can catch you back into your story.
Yeah, absolutely.
How did you get to that part when you can see it as
well, so firstly, it was enforced because I had COVID. And I chose not to interact with anyone. They're just from a moral point of view, I guess. and so I was very, very isolated from everybody, and made sure that I did that.
Time to reflect.
Yeah, and try to keep my interactions very, very short. You know, even the check-ins, to try and call ahead, book ahead, all that sort of stuff. And then instead of saying, "Oh, I'm stuck in this motel," you know, because I had to find places on the way. And as you know from our trip, my telco provider isn't the best up in Queensland, so it was very difficult to be online.
Yeah, we won't mention the brand.
No, we won't.
That's the right thing to do.
But every place I stayed at, and I stayed in some out of the way places because it was, you know, it's busy.
Yeah.
And I also didn't want to go to the busy areas. They were all fantastic.
Right.
You know, and that was my first inkling of, hey, you know, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some good here.
Yeah.
So those were the little things along the way, but it's more in reflection, looking back, in that I stayed in there. I stayed in that space.
Yeah.
Each day, and not even consciously thinking about being in that space. I just was. So that's the real power for me, I think.
So I'm getting a chill up my spine because I think there is such a lesson in this for everyone around allowing. So when things happen that you don't expect to happen, you've got, you know, people call it surrender, allowing, non-resistance. There's many words for it, but the lesson often won't reveal itself, or the transition between where you are and the next energy you're going to get to will not reveal itself if you continue to push away. If you push away what's bad. In your case, it's like, I wanted this second half of this trip to be a certain thing, and I've got COVID, so it's not going to be that anymore.
Yeah.
That the positive learning aspect of what happened to you last week would not have happened unless you were able to accept.
Yeah.
So acceptance is that first.
Yeah. And you know, over the last 20 months now since Manny passed away, there's been lots of things. Yeah. And lots of things that have come up again and again because I haven't got to that space yet. I think I have, but I really haven't. And then on reflection, it's like, yes, I get that now. And
so how many times do you think you've had to relearn this lesson of acceptance over the last 18 months?
Probably 18 times.
Every month.
Every month. Yeah, I'm still. I know.
You didn't say 77.
No,
so
that's right. Yeah. No. No, exactly. Definitely. And I know I still am impatient. Yeah. And we've talked about this previously. I'm impatient because I had such a good life up until 20 months ago that I want it back straight away. Yeah. And I know it doesn't work like that. You know, I've had it in bits and pieces along the way. You know, but it keeps coming up, and it keeps reminding me that, hey, keep working, and keep staying with it, and let it come to you rather than try and force.
So imagine if from this, now that you've learned it, true acceptance, which is that you accept things, bad or good, that they've come into your life because it allows you to move through them. What might it mean for your future?
Well,
not that we want to spend our time.
No, but I feel like that's happening this week. You know,
your future is literally being created.
Yeah,
because you're moving through it with positive energy rather than pushing it away.
Yeah. I feel this week. I just to go back a bit. I always choose a word for the year, and I had chosen evolve.
Yeah.
Which was a sort of a continuation of last year. But then another word came up for me, align. And it was like, this is really, really capturing what I'm about this year. So aligning to my focus, but it's also allowed me to be more focused. And I think that's what's making me feel freer at the moment, is that I have my focus. If I work hard at it, it's going to happen, and I have that confidence, that trust, and everything I do needs to be in alignment with that. And then working through choices and saying no to things and and taking on things, even if they may financially not be the right time to do it. And I've done one of those so far, but it feels right. And the energy this week has just been crazy. And I'm still struggling with COVID a bit. Still I haven't got the energy levels back that I have, but I'm doing so much more with that already.
Yeah. Great. I don't know if I don't feel like that much more needs to be shared today. Other than I think that the way I connect with this is that for me, I reckon as a character, you're more likely to be very honest about your pissed offness about the universe. Like you're more likely to go, fuck this. Whereas my way of doing it through my life has always been quieter and more subtle. So I think because I'm a more cruisy kind of character, people will think that I'm not doing that, but spiritually and emotionally I am.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that.
So I think it's worth capturing that it doesn't have to be, the resistance can be really subtle. Even though you think you're going with the flow, if you feel into your energy, there still can be resistance in there. And that's the part of you that you need to accept and bring through and allow it to go. Yeah.
Just on that point about being cruisy or fiery, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. I used to be quiet. But then everything got stuck inside. And I would take it on, and I'd be more stoic, I guess, in a way. And then since what happened with Maddie passing away, it's and all the learning that I've gone through since then, it made me realize that that's not the way to go. And I've always been not confrontational, but I would always step up to something if there was a situation, and that may just be a short man syndrome as well, Because I wasn't going to say anything. I've raised my chair today, but I played a lot of sport. I was really good at sport, but everybody was bigger than me, whether it was rugby or soccer or cricket, anything. So I had to work hard, but it was so that fieriness, I guess, in a way that comes out is from that development too.
So I think the idea of relearning things has been present in my life, and I feel like I'm at a point now where, very similar to you, where I've seen the pattern. So for me, the one that's come up this week is the lesson that we talked before, when you feel your abundance is in lack. So you feel financially like you're in trouble. You haven't got enough, and the thought, emotion, behavior loop that goes with that is the thought that I haven't got enough, I'm not enough, and the emotion that goes with that is an emotion of fear and anxiety, and then the behaviors all start to circle in and around that. So the behaviors are you don't feel confident in yourself, you feel like the universe is not providing enough to you, and so you start to resist. You don't accept the offers to people to go out, you don't start to do stuff, and the whole thing starts to circle in. So I've just realized that, and that would perennially happen to me maybe once or twice a year, and now I've started to realize that actually that is a lesson in my own frequency that I can hold in those moments, and those moments of trust. I have a choice in those moments to believe and trust in myself, and to believe in trust in the greater source universe that I'm on the right path. And it's not to say that it's blind trust and that you don't do anything, you just sit there and you trust. You still keep going on in life, but if you follow that right high energy, that vibration and that trust, and allow it to lead you into action, into who you're going to meet, and what you're going to do and what you're going to create, then you're much more likely to continue to live in an abundant life, or whatever your goal is. in your life. And the universe will keep posing you the context or the situation that is similar until you learn that. And that's always for your higher good. When you come out the other end, you look at it and you go, oh, I just learnt that. It's always something that you needed to learn.
Yeah.
That would be my only contribution.
Yeah.
So I think as I wrap up, thank you to Kevin who's shared, because I think it was an amazing lesson. And as always, if you want to contact us or you want to comment or you want to leave us a message about how this resonates with you and your world and what you're taking away from it, we'd love to hear from you. Take care.
Take care.
See
you next time.
Bye.
Bye.